way. It's way too much damage. Stop him with the block! He fell charged him!
Oh, and he found
wow.
Wow.
Oh,
what? He gets out!
Somewhere there's a covert muffin just applauding this scene.
Holy crap.
Oh man, this is gonna come down to execution in the final escape, isn't it?
Sure is.
Every scene
Our
does.
favorite phrase.
Hello, Speed Gaming. Welcome back to the Ori and the Blind Forest Randomizer Tournament 2021. We are here today with a match between og1764 and sloaters27, our seed number 25 and our seed number 40. I am joined today by none other than Shafe. Shafe, how you doing today, man?
Doing pretty good. Excited for this matchup. It should be an exciting race. OG, a veteran of Blind Forest. Him and I are actually tied with all skills time with a 31:31.9. And Sloaters obviously is an SM and SM Rando veteran. He plays both main categories and the randomizer, and is very talented at that. He does say that there is a few things that are similar between the randos, namely the flexibility of what you can have for go mode. But SM only has 100 pickups compared to Ori's 256 and no form of fast travel, so routing's a little bit generally less complicated most of the time compared to Ori. He does feel, based on preliminary results in which he took the head-to-head matchup against OG 2-1, that he feels okay about this. But obviously the all-skills time is better than... OG's is better than Sloaters. So he kind of thinks that he needs a bit more of a convoluted seed in order for this to be in his favor. If it ends up being more jet, sort of more all-skillsy kind of skill set, he thinks that OG is definitely going to have the advantage. He plays mostly on controller, will switch to hybrid or full KBM as necessary for a few specific tricks. Doesn't have any specific goals in mind for the bracket stage, just wants to get better at rando. And as far as what else he does in his free time, he loves music and he plays the piano. What did OG have to say?
Yeah, so OG came into this tournament mostly for just the experience of the tournament. He was telling us he's not quite as experienced in the randomizer as he is in, let's say, all skills. So he primarily has the advantage over Sloater in terms of raw execution and familiarity with the game. But Sloaters has more of that rando knowledge. So we got a pretty interesting matchup on our hands today. And OG also is familiar with Will of the Wisps, our sister game. He does some trials over there. He actually has 3 world records for those trials in Will of the Wisps. So that's pretty neato burrito.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and give the runners a 1-minute countdown. The winner of this match will go on to face me, and the loser of this match will go on to face you, Rom. So I'm pretty excited for the post-race interview on that one. Do want to remind you as well, tomorrow is an absolutely stacked card as we get into the center of the second round here of the upper bracket, this being the last match of the opening round. We have a total of 5 matches scheduled for tomorrow. Going to be starting at 2 o'clock Eastern. Semsis is going to be facing off against Terra, Aussie versus Dedu, Cleanfell versus Gecko, Evo versus Cerebron, and Jay Halcyon versus Rufus. Those times, respectively, again, 2 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 9 o'clock, and 11 Eastern. So plenty of Ori content is going to be coming your way, and you can see the brackets here lined up on your screen, giving you sort of an indication of where things currently stand. If this is your first time seeing Ori and the Blind Forest, it is a Metroidvania, that meaning you have to go somewhere to collect skills that will unlock other areas so that you can get more skills, so on and so forth down the line until you have enough stuff available to you to complete the game. The randomizer is set up in a very similar fashion. The logic is going to place something that is going to unlock another area here in the first 4 pickups for the runners, and then they will have to go and find progression sequentially as indicated by normal Metroidvania action. And there will be a few emphasis on very few non-randomized pickups. One of them is going to be an energy cell that you're going to see the runners come up on here very shortly. And that's just put there for the purposes of quality of life, because it turns out not saving your game is pretty awful. And if that isn't there, you could go many, many minutes without having an energy cell. So just a keystone here. Looks like we're going to be heading into Glades here, Romulus.
Yeah, we're going through the motions here at the start of the seed. Almost every seed starts in a very similar fashion. Normally, you get a couple keystones, head over through glades. Maybe you get some wall interaction, which will let you go down into Blackroot Burrows. But it looks like right now we're grabbing a couple of keystones here. Our runners are going to be able to go through glades once we sit through this little mini cutscene of picking up our friend Sign. So in addition to Sign, there are a total of 10 locations that our runners must visit throughout the world of Nibel, and each of them in the vanilla game will give us a skill. However, in the randomizer, we have no idea what's going to be located at these trees. But we have to visit all of them, and then after that, we'll be able to continue on to the final escape. So,
Yeah,
Shafe, what are you hoping to see at the start of this seed?
I'm just hoping to see a pretty even matchup. Like we talked about off the top of the broadcast, OG does have a bit of an execution advantage, but Sloater's very, very familiar with randomizers in general, does know his way around routing. And so skill-wise, we'll have to see. We're just getting access here into Glades in the early going. You alluded to it, Rom. Our goal mode is Force Trees. We also have a clue system built in, whereupon every 3 trees that the runner visits, 3, 6, and 9, they will be given a clue as to where one of the dungeon keys is located in one of the 11 biomes spread out throughout the world. Water Vein for Ginzo, the Gumon Seal for Forlorn, and the Sunstone for Mount Poru. Hoping for the runner's sake that they're all in relatively easy to access locations so we can get a zoomy seed, but perhaps for our entertainment purposes as commentators and viewers, maybe something a little bit trolly. So far, 0 skills have been found, and there it is. This wall jump, it's your basic sort of vanilla intended start. That's going to give the runners access to 3 of the trees here: wall jump, dash, and charge flame, presuming they get enough keystones to go up through spirit caverns. In the meantime, OG, with just a few seconds lead based on that execution, is going to be pushing this rock here to check a few extra pickups in the wall jump loop.
Yeah, and finding wall jump at the start of the seed is pretty nice, since you're normally supposed to have wall jump around here. So it's pretty friendly that the game decides to give it to us this early. Our runners will be able to check most everything around here. They might have to skip one pickup down by the wall jump tree, but beyond that, right now we got Sloaters pushing this boulder very carefully through these crushers. OG as well. There is a damage boost that you are able to do using wall jump. However, since both the runners are pretty low on health, they're opting for the safer strat, and I can't really blame them for that. Pick up some more experience here, and we're gonna head down towards our wall jump tree. Still, not really finding a whole lot other than that wall jump.
Yeah, OG was down just to 1 hit point there. Could actually not do the damage boost. Went ahead and leveled up regroup ahead of time, and then kind of looked at the cooldown on Soul Link. That experience circle that you see in the bottom middle of the screen, there's a little white outline behind it that indicates when you can place a save. And OG was not able to do that for a little while, so he just opted to go ahead and push the rock anyway, which means that Sloaters has just a little bit of an advantage, taking the lead over OG. There's a whole bunch of experience here, and 2, now 3 keystones for the runners here in the early going. Opportunity for perhaps a little bit of divergence. Sloaters seems to be dropping down to go into Blackroot. This is where you would get dash in the vanilla edition. And he's going to be opening up a save anywhere here. The way that functions, it's a menu storage trick. We open up the ability menu, then trick it into thinking that we have closed it, allowing us to gain control of Ori and move behind it. And then when you level up something on this skill tree that you see there on Sloater's side, right side of your screen, it saves the game. So when we walk into a cutscene and activate it, for the game's purposes, it considers it to have been watched. So we save and then reload, and we don't have to watch the cutscene. That's going to be the primary use of save anywhere throughout the course of this run. There will be a few other possible uses of it, but that is how that trick functions. Sloaters is down into the orb room here in lower Blackroot. Meanwhile, OG Did not check Fake Flippers. Wants to see what this is swimming down here. That is an out of logic pickup. It's a second energy. He wants that. Will he continue going left, or will he follow behind? Sloaters looks like he's going to be going into Blackroot as well.
Yeah, both our runners opting to dip down into Blackroot. There is a tree along the way over here, so our runners will definitely need to come down here no matter what. They're opting to get it out of the way early. Our runners also could have decided to go up towards Spirit Caverns. I imagine that's where they might go next, since they do have a few spare keystones, and that's another somewhat dense area where hopefully we'll find some more progression. But yeah, we see now Sloaters is going to approach this more or less auto scroller area. He's going to have to stand on some platforms as we approach the dash tree, and we'll be getting our second tree done, which means we'll just have one more tree to go before we find our first clue, like Shafe mentioned earlier.
Yeah, the one good thing about this wall jump only Blackroot for OG is that he is very familiar with doing this, having done many, many runs of the Bash. Ooh, Elephantine pickup for Sloaters up there at the top of the XP. He now has one of the most broken skills in the game and is going to allow him to do a whole lot of different things. But yeah, as I was saying, OG, more experienced in the base run of Ori and the Blind Forest, very used to the wall jump only movement here, is probably going to execute just a little bit better and catch some of that time loss that he had going into Fake Flippers. But for now, Floater's lead does seem to be expanding just because of OG's extra little bit of thoroughness and a couple just little execution flips here in the early going, which is sort of surprising given the way that these runners match up.
Yeah, and with that Bash find, this will be an interesting point to watch OG a little bit later. There is one pickup that comes into logic with Bash to the right of our starting location, but it does require luring a Frankie over all the way over to the right side and then bashing him up. I don't know if OG is aware of this trick or if he will remember that it is in logic, since he is a little bit less experienced in the randomizer, like we were saying. He might need to really rack his brain and remember that that is something he can do.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that shakes out in terms of actual random knowledge. Sloaters did run all 15 prelims, OG ran 4, and that's just sort of kind of indicative of how much time OG's puts into the randomizer, generally speaking. So Sloaters definitely a little bit more practiced in rando, I would say, even if we do argue that OG has an execution advantage. You've been seeing the runners do a fair amount of returning to start through a keybind we will henceforth be referring to as alt-Ring. Second energy for Sloaters drops down to bash this projectile back up instead of alt-Ring. And that keybind is placed into the randomizer just to make things a little bit easier in terms of preventing soft locks and also making things go faster because we are indeed speedrunners. So 2 energy for both runners right now. When OG drops down to the main Blackroot AC, he will have 3 opportunity to energy glitch his way into Grotto at that point if he so desires. Same for Sloaters if he manages his XP here actually, but he is going to take a left up off of the slimes as he goes towards Indiana Jones, which is the last pickup that is available to him here, but in all likelihood he will sequence break via another save anywhere trick. This one designed to despawn the hitbox of this boulder that's going to drop down. Reloading the game accomplishes that after the SA. That's also going to keep a Frankie alive over to the right side who is normally intended to die to this boulder, and that could prove vital later on in the seed.
Yeah, and notable on the left, OG has not picked up Bash yet, and like we were saying, Bash is it's a pretty good skill, wouldn't you say, Shafe? So that's a bit of an oof that he hasn't picked it up yet.
Yeah, he might dip down back into Blackroot to go check that XP, but a little bit surprising. Maybe he just wanted to sort of catch the cycle with the lantern there and intends on going back to it afterwards after checking these pickups. If he does not get that, he is going to be in a severe skill deficit for probably a long time, unless he gets completely hard locked by other pickups that are available currently in Spirit Caverns and over towards Sea Flame Tree. And yes, Sloaters is going to be using Bash to this Frankie up. Only has a certain amount of bashes he can use before the Frankie dies, and if it does, it will not respawn. So he's got to be very careful about that. And actually bashing it behind the lever there renders it impossible for the Frankie to get back up unless it has enough HP for you to bash again, which it does not. That is going to force Sloaters to altar in the meantime and continue heading on into left glades, extending sort of his trip away from the Grotto sequence break. And OG is not dropping back down into Blackroot. Has forgotten that XP. We'll have to keep an eye on how long that's going to take for him to go and check, because he's going to be missing Bash now for quite a bit.
Yeah, that's a very unfortunate miss there on OG's side. He will eventually run out of pickups to check, and at that point he'll have to maybe even pull up his map and think, okay, where have I missed? Where can I go back to? But right now, actually, both our runners heading into Spirit Caverns. However, Sloaters with Bash will be able to check one additional pickup up here by just single bashing off of these these shots rather. And yeah, both runners just making their way through. It's gonna be a little harder for OG since he just has that more limited mobility. But we're gonna see if the runners find enough keystones. Looks like Sloaters has found enough keystones to open up this door. He also finds Grotto Teleporter. That's a very nice teleporter to have early game.
It's bad for OG though, because now he has right side access and not Bash. And he really honestly at this point needed to be hard locked here in Glades main to think about what pickups he had missed, so he would go back to Blackroot. But now having that access to the right side, he needs to either be bailed out by just self-cognition and remembering he needs to go and check 2 pickups in Blackroot, or charge jump or something. Other serious verticality is located in Grotto for him.
Yeah, we're gonna have to really hope for his sake that another valuable skill is soon to come in the future for him. Otherwise, he's gonna be significantly behind. However, Bash is probably the best skill in the game, so not having that is a significant downside. But over on the right side, we did see Sloaters carefully double bash this Frankie up to the top to grab one additional pickup. And now he's going to be approaching his charge flame tree, which we will see the third. Yeah, we saw the third tree activate, and we got a hint for the Gumon seal, which is a big old bummer because now we know that we're going to have to find all 9 trees before we know where our 2 important dungeon keys are, unless we just happen to find them along the way.
Heads up move there by Sloaters, actually luring the Frankie down into the Sea Flame Tree area alongside him so that he could use it to bash out and check that XP down next to the blue wall. OG is preemptively opening up that I-beam drop-down lever. Will not have access to anything there. Another map stone here. Entirely possible progression could be on map stones. Explaining how those function real quick. Mapstones function sequentially as basically IOU pickups. Doesn't matter which map altar around the world that you turn them into, of which they are 9. If the first turn in gives you a keystone, it will always give you a keystone. The reason that is so that runners don't scum mapstone pickups, so that they can just effectively use one mapstone and turn it into all 9 locations and get different pickups. So Sloater is now into Grotto with 3 energy, going to spend 2 of it here and check what we refer to as Glide Vault, utilizing the Mega Health to dip down into water. 216 experience on that pickup. That is quite a high amount, possibly indicative that clean water is going to be fairly buried in the seed. Third mapstone pickup here now.
Wow.
For Sloaters, as he's going to open up an essay to glitch this bridge open and check pickups next to the water vein. Meanwhile, left side, OG using the Mega Health to do another check at long flippers, just getting an ability to solve for his efforts.
Yeah, we see our runners. Looks like OG will probably also follow in Sloater steps over down into Grotto. However, he won't be able to check quite as much just without that bash find.
He's going into Blackroot. He's going to get it.
Oh, thank goodness. Okay, he must have hopefully remembered that he missed a couple pickups over there. This is really, really good for OG. He'll be able to hopefully catch up a little bit of ground. Yeah, he should see that pickup up there. Yeah, we'll see what he decides to do.
Yeah, probably going to drop down to this main room ability cell first. We know it's going to be an energy cell for him. Be interesting to see whether or not he decides to keep it. Since he does have 2 energy, he thinks about it. Yep, he's going to altar and go back in. And then he just has the 1 experience pickup left up top to check, and we know that he's going to be getting bashed for it. I anticipate, considering that he went back here immediately rather than going into Grotto, that because of sort of like his little early game errors, having to push the rock instead of doing the damage boost strat and spending some time checking fake flippers. Maybe he just wanted to skip a few pickups and try and gain a bit of time back on that side of things. But having not seen it pay off, he's probably expecting further progression to be here. Is going to lose about 8 seconds as the slime, rude as can be, trained by the SAS, snipes him off the platform before OG gets revenge. In the meantime, Sloater's right side is going to be dropping down into the grotto vault. Ooh, careful, ducks down, avoids getting killed by the crushers, and is going to check a few pickups that are available to him down here.
Yeah, and actually we got to see Sloaters do some very clever bash redirects from a spider shot. And that's not something that's terribly easy to do. You got to hang on to that spider shot in order to collect a couple of those pickups. However, since bash isn't considered necessarily a verticality skill like double jump or charge jump, those pickups probably not in logic right now, but it's still useful to check them for him. He wants to be thorough and make sure that he can get everything that he needs to get.
Fourth energy for Sloaters is out of logic currently, but in all likelihood in logic somewhere else with pickups here in Grotto, and many of them available.
Yes.
OG is going to opt to not do Death Gauntlet for the time being, putting the 2 energy in the door, and actually just going to drop straight down instead of doing the SA, looking to save a few ability points here, and is going to turn in the map stone and get a map stone back in exchange, a soul for a soul, if you will, and head down onto his 4th tree. Will he dip down to check the map stone pickup and or grotto mini boss? Looks like the answer to that question is at least yes to the map stone. Ooh, didn't get the slide that he wanted off the edge of that last eye beam there in the middle center, and ended up getting squished by the crushers, turning Ori into a pancake. Just 12 XP on the map stone here. Will he continue to the mini boss is the question, as Sloaters is setting up for a double bash here to go across these 5 damage spikes, which when you only have 2 HP, turns out, quick math for you, -3 HP equals dead. Gets his mapstone returning for a mapstone, and OG is on his way towards the double jump tree.
Yeah, our runners are going to come across their 4th tree here shortly. And wonder, Slaughter's actually coming back down for this mapstone. I wonder if he's going to go over and check the... Yeah, he actually... No.
Ooh,
Nope.
but he didn't get... Yeah, he almost got squished too.
Yeah, he is going to go ahead and check this mini boss. This is a pickup that a lot of people like to skip since it does automatically save the game at the start of this fight and at the end, which makes it a little bit annoying if you're trying to save scum pickups to save a little bit of time. And this fight can take a while, but with Bash, Slutters makes very quick work of it. Nicely done. And we're going to see what his reward is.
Yeah, OG in the meantime, left side of your screen, had to altar out because he doesn't have keystones to actually go the rest of the way to the double jump tree. He has not yet done the same full-blown routing, checking some of the pickups here that Sloaters did with Bash available to him. Turns out they were valuable pickups indeed, some of them being keystones. So he's going to have to double back and do a little bit of digging before he can get to the double jump tree. Should probably perhaps see maybe progression there, but with wall jump and bash, honestly, a lot of the right side is open. So entirely possible we could still be going a few more minutes here without further progression. OG is actually making the play for the mapstone turn-ins here, sees the amount that he's got stored in the inventory and goes back to Glades to turn that one in, as he's also doing some of the cleanup. Nice little heads-up play there by OG. Recognizing he's got a little bit of cleanup to do, might as well use advantage of the time that he's taking to come down here to turn in that mapstone and get a bit of an advantage on those. He's got 2 out of 9. Sloaters has 1 out of 9. Again, both runners currently sitting on 3 trees and heading to their 4th. And if you're just joining us, the first clue was for the Gumon seal, which makes it not very happy for the runners.
Yeah, and since we don't know the remaining 2 dungeon keys, they could be anywhere. They could be just about anything, and we won't know for a couple more tree locations. I'm wondering though, with all of these mapstones, what are the chances that we might see a water vein on a mapstone or a sunstone on a mapstone? We do find a forlorn teleporter pickup there on the right side from Sloaters as he's approaching his tree, and does find climb, which isn't super useful right now since he does have wall jump. But yeah, with that forlorn teleporter find, that will allow him a really quick turn-in for 1 more mapstone. And since we know the Gumon seal is in Sorrow, we know that it is probably unlikely that Forlorn is next up in the logic chain, since Sorrow is still quite a ways away.
OG really chasing these mapstone turn-ins here. He's got 2 extra now in Sloaters. That one was his 3rd. Got an attack upgrade 1, which is not a pickup that is available in the base game. Does give him a little bit more damage, also an extra volley from Sign during the projectile firing animation there, which will help him clear out a little bit of enemies since they don't have a whole lot in the way of attack possibilities available to them at the moment. Warmth returned for Sloaters. Now the seed is Cozy. Extra air dash for OG, and he ends up taking a death. We'll see whether or not he decides to pick that up again, just in case he happens to find dash. First pickups here in Death Gauntlet are a no-go for Sloaters in terms of skills. OG heading down to the drain access of Swamp. Wants to check this pickup up here, which can oftentimes hide progression. Nope, just a health cell, but still nice to have. Both runners now on 5 HP. And still hunting for that progression. Interestingly, my thought process behind finding that Forlorn TP, even though we know that the Gumon Seal is in Sorrow, made me think that Charge Jump is somewhere here on the right side, at which point it might very well be assigned to the runners to go to Sorrow. And they don't have to pick up the Gumon Seal to go to Forlorn, but maybe check to see if it's available within the first pickups. And a power play here from Sloaters. He's just going to go ahead and take the gamble and head straight into Forlorn without figuring out what the rest of the logic wants from him. I'm going to check a few pickups here, including getting his 2nd mapstone turned in. And looks like he also wants to set up for a possible key dupe. No, looks like he's going to bail on that for now, and I continue checking some pickups down here. It'll be interesting to see whether or not he finds anything in Forlorn here, which at the moment is a sequence break.
Yeah, I love this play. While it's not really in logic and like progression wise, probably not the next thing to do, it's still definitely a power play, like you said, Shafe. Definitely. Oh, he does take a death there on that that enemy. Unfortunate for him, but he's going to make his way back down over there. There's a number of things he can check here in Forlorn. He does have Bash as well as Climb and Wall Jump, which isn't the most ideal move set for traversing this icy cavern of danger and doom. But hopefully he'll be able to find something useful in here, even if it's not where he's supposed to be.
Yeah, this is likely to be very late in logic. Could pay off, could be a hefty gamble. We'll have to see whether or not it is. It's definitely, at the moment, a reward for OG rather than Sloaters having taken that pretty significant death there, costing him roughly 30 seconds, possibly a little bit upwards of that as well. As OG is continuing to do a little bit of cleanup here, and Grotto as we come up on the 23-minute mark, and not a whole lot in the way of skills. OG still only on 1 keystone, does not have access to the double jump tree just yet. I don't believe he went up and checked the experience above Sea Flame tree, which sometimes does hide progression, and there's absolutely no way somebody has lost a tournament race by not checking that pickup. So possibly something that'll be on OG's mind as he drops down to check this left side. I-Beam gets his 2nd keystone, and now we'll be able to head over to the double jump tree. He's also probably going to do this double bash chain that we saw from Sloaters earlier with his projectile shots to get a few extra pickups while he's in the vicinity.
Yeah. And we do also have the consideration that Swamp Loop is potentially where we could find something. Runner's still just kind of, just digging. With Bash, that does open up a lot of things, but with a lot of things being open, that means sometimes what you need could be buried a little deeper than you normally would think to look. As Sloater's finding another mapstone outside of Forlorn, that would be his 6th mapstone total, which is a very high number considering how many we normally find in a typical seed. On the left, OG did find another health cell up there by bashing off of that frog. Very nice just to have a little extra comfort with some more energy, get some more safety saves down. And he's going to come down here and push this boulder down and check a few pickups down below.
Yeah, interestingly enough, there's only about 5 pickups that are left in terms of logical access. As you alluded to, that sort of beginning section of the outer swamp loop being one of them, and Sloaters doing the other check here in Glades, which is Frankie Walk. This isn't standard logic, having a little bit of trouble with the way that he's trying to position this Frankie on the brambles. Thankfully, it doesn't take damage as he does so. and now actually is having problems getting it to be lured over the top as it's just kind of tucked away in the corner there and hiding out of reach. Gave Billy a little bit too much damage, is going to actually have to retreat here and continue on somewhere else to check pickups. That's the second time now Sloaters has attempted something and it has not panned out. The first being using Marvin over in lower Blackroot to try and sequence break into Grotto, and had to bail on it, costing him a fair bit of time. And OG, who has did suffer some of the early execution flubs in the beginning of the race, definitely has caught up on that time loss because of these mistakes from Sloaters as well. So things pretty even here. We see Sloaters now chasing the map stones as well, as OG is warping back to Grotto. I believe, other than going to the double jump tree now, his only option really is to head up, but he does need to go and get that tree, so that's where he's going to be heading first. And we'll see now on the right side where Sloaters decides to head. He is thinking about Blackroot.
Ooh, that is an interesting play. There's not necessarily a lot more that Sloaters can do down here, at least in logic. Okay, he is going for the mapstone. That does make a lot of sense. We haven't seen what mapstone 4 holds for us. It very well could be progression, and that would be a very rude progression indeed. Nope, just some experience. Unfortunate. We're gonna have to keep digging until we figure out where we're supposed to be.
I don't believe we actually saw this energy cell check from Sloaters that you see OG setting up for on the left side of your screen right now. Second attempt from Sloaters, meanwhile, at this Frankie lure to stomp the peg to get into Grotto this way, and ends up killing Marvin and Alt-Rs. That could be disastrous for him. Marvin is not going to respawn. If Sloaters needs to use that Frankie to break into the grenade tree, he's in a bad way. He's going to have to dig for a charge jump or stomp. So we'll have to keep an eye on that in the meantime, as OG is heading down towards his double jump tree. And just this 6 XP on mapstone number 4, still 2 in pocket. Does not have 2 available to him, however, logically speaking, does have access to 1 more map altar, and that is the Grove teleporter. He's going to be making the same check over here to the right side for this XP above this log here that we saw OG do as well. And now, as Sloaters is bound to be heading back towards the left, and OG, I imagine, teleporting back to Grotto. Looks like we're probably going to end up getting some sync here from the runners, and a pretty good indication that they're in an even position. And then OG makes me look like a fool because he's going to Forlorn as well. Wants to see if he can find anything snuck behind here. We did not see the upper checks here from Sloaters, though. We only saw the lower checks. So OG is going to get 2 more pickups up top here that we did not see that could have late game progression.
Yeah, I like this play as well. Of course, OG, deciding to just see what's around here in Forlorn. Of course, he doesn't know what's at the bottom of Forlorn. Very well could be something useful for all he knows. And for all we know, there very well could be something nice up here. On the right, we do see Sloaters. He is going to be approaching the swamp loop, as we like to call it. There are a couple pickups that he can check. This pickup down here in the dirty water is not in logic, and it is a large amount of experience, which does indicate to us that clean water might be a little bit later in the seed. He's going to bash our friend Ringo. Well, Ringo's taking a quick dip first in the poison water. He's going to try to get Ringo over to let him sequence break into swamp, which is also probably not in logic for him right now. But that does open up a few more checks for him. I can definitely understand this play. He's going to need to come back this way at some point. So him deciding to get it out of the way now, definitely respect that.
Ooh, a couple big deaths from OG as he was trying to get up here into the top side of Forlorn. With wall jump, it's just very slow to get back up here because you have to take the orb and do sort of the intended strats and navigate your way around these laser puzzles. Here is finally through, but no, he did not get the left gravity jump that he wanted. Did place a save, however, up next to the frog. Is not going to have to do a complete reset from the teleporter, which is good news for him. Sloaters looks like he has abandoned the swamp entry for the time being and is going to be heading into this outer swamp loop, which holds the last possible logical pickups, honestly. So progression has got to be here in one of the next 3 pickups. Keystone is not one of them. Can jump up over here and bash one of the projectiles from the sit shoot shark, or just climb up all the way and jump down. That works too. Just as fine. Ability to sell has grenade. It's been a
Oh
bash
my.
nade seed the whole time.
Oh my gosh, this is... Wow, what a seed. This is just brutal. Well, at least in some good news, Sloaters is now able to check this one pickup over here, but now there's a lot more that's in logic with Bash and a lot of backtracking. And we don't really have Dash to speed up the backtracking, so I'm sure that our runners are not too terribly thrilled with this, having to go all the way back through and check a bunch of plants with this newfound grenade.
Yeah, so grenade gives us what we call blue break access. OG, why are you going over to this plant? There's nothing here, dude. I think he recognizes that now. He was like, I really want to check this before I go. Sad OG noises. And yeah, so nothing else was here in Forlorn, including the dip all the way down to Forlorn approach. So OG definitely in a little bit of a deficit here in terms of progression, and Bash Nade opens up other video games. That's how powerful it is. The runners can now go visit the messenger. No, I'm just kidding. But it does open up a lot, and there's basically the entire right side of the map open for the runners now, with the exception of like inner swamp loop area. So like they can do a whole bunch, and they can sequence break a whole bunch if they want to now.
Yeah. However, a very important point to bring up, both of our runners are playing on mostly controller. We did mention one of them's playing on hybrid, but playing a Bash Nade seed while you're on controller is not the most fun thing to do when you want to play some Ori Randomizer. It is a little bit harder to aim those grenades on the controller, and so I'm sure that our runners are not going to be too thrilled to have to do this over and over. But now we see Sloaters on the right, checking a number of additional pickups here in this somewhat dense grove area. He's going to be able to even put in another map stone. That will be number 5. And get just, with this additional verticality that the grenade offers for him, that opens up quite a bit more.
Yeah, Sloaters is the runner here who will go hybrid for certain things as necessary. As yet, not really seeing the mouse come into play for him, with the Bashnating content to do it so far with the controller, which is fair enough. And just some more resources here. Ability cell, another keystone, mapstone turned in number 5 was a whole lot of nothing. As OG now is making his teleport to Grotto, in all likelihood heading up, unless there's something I've forgotten about that he hasn't checked. And yep, looks like he's going to be heading that way. Hopefully towards the swamp loop in order to be able to get his nade as well. And open up again for him pretty much the entire right side of the map. Double bash chain here from Sloaters, and the Bramble's not playing nice with the damage boosting as he wants to check this grenade pickup out of here. And it's 26 experience. OG performing a little bit of tech there with a rekindle skip. Left side of your screen means that these lasers will no longer be firing. He doesn't have to worry about them anytime he revisits this area. My word, that is a 7th mapstone in Sloater's pocket right now. Unreal.
This is insane. Why are there so many mapstones? I wasn't aware that this was a cartographer's seed. Oh gosh, we're gonna...
Yeah, is Lupo here somewhere? Like, what's going on?
I will say though, Sloaters is doing a very good job of showing off his proficiency with double bashes, very precise double bashes, in order to navigate all throughout. He was showing, he when he was double bashing a spider shot up over towards the lake, he was able to redirect it into a breakable wall before going over to the right to grab more pickups. So very nice execution on his side.
Yeah, without double jump here, OG's going to have a little bit of difficulty trying to set up for this swamp entry break-in that he's trying to do, the method that he's trying to do, bringing Ringo down here. Unfortunately, the it does get it now, but the reason he was having difficulty with that is that the projectile the frog shoots has a max height that is actually determined by the frog's original position. So the lower it is, the less high the projectile will go. So if you actually have a frog that's positioned fairly high, respective to where you want the shot to go, it's much easier to control. And charge
There's
jump
charge
in
jump.
progression vault for Sloaters. He has the Triforce of grenade jumps and can go zoom horizontally. Yes, baby.
Oh man, that is quite a find. I was speaking to OG just before the race started, and he mentioned, "Oh, I kind of hope that we won't find the Triforce because I'm not too terribly, derusted on my grenade jumps, but it will be a grenade jump seed, ladies and gentlemen."
Yeah, and that actually is so ridiculously powerful as speed tech that if the runners wanted to, they could actually finish the game with just never mind bash, with just grenade jumps. They could finish the game, and with bash especially, it's definitely open for them now. As Sloaters looks like he is deciding that he wants to start playing this a little bit more aggressive, is going to be dropping down here into lower black route. In all likelihood, grenade jumping through does take a bit of a death on the lasers, no big deal. That's why he placed the save there. Grenade jumping past here to head towards the grenade tree itself. Currently sitting at 4 trees, as is OG, who did not go and finish the play completely into Swamp, decided that he just wanted to have that available to him in case things got desperate. Is going to be checking these 3 outer pickups, as did Sloaters jumping up there. Very nice. Swamp teleporter, very convenient in Swamp. Thanks, game. And is on his way shortly to collect his bash as well.
Yeah, and once he finds
Grenade,
that,
rather, sorry.
yeah, once he finds that grenade pickup, I'm sure he's gonna be super thrilled to get to, be able to bash grenade everywhere. And on the right side, Sloater's taking a little bit of a death there. Not a big deal since he saved just below. He's going to be approaching his grenade tree. This will be tree number 5, and so we'll only need one more tree after this in order to figure out where our next clue will be. Looks like he's going to try to go for a zombie Ori through this spinning laser puzzle. This puzzle is very annoying to do with just charge jump. It is possible. Instead, he's opting to go for the zombie strat, which is definitely respectable. He does drop the save anywhere menu, which will make things a little harder for him. Hopefully he's able to get through this.
He needs to skip the cutscene after this, right? He can't spend another point if he wants to continue progressing in the blue tree, and also is struggling with something every rando player in every rando game that has ever been randoed ever. Remembering what skills you have, because he could have just used Bashnade to get up without having to do these lasers, but it is impossible. It is actually impossible to remember what skills you have in rando.
Yes.
So hopefully he has his tracker up and he can look off to the side and remind himself of that. Did not meme himself out of the pickup, at least. We did not get an endless series of glide, 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 dash, as we saw in a race a few days ago. So OG is going to be collecting his swamp teleporter here, and then in all likelihood heading off to the left towards progression vault. We're in the spider sack area to find his charge jump, but definitely a few minutes behind Sloaters at this point.
Yeah, there is that bit of a difference. However, hopefully once he finds that charge jump, he'll be feeling a little bit more comfortable in where he wants to go, how he wants to route. Because right now, with so much of the game open, it can be a little daunting to figure out where the next important place to go to get progression is. But once he heads over towards that spider lake, he will be able to find that charge jump, like you were saying. OG will be checking one more additional pickup over here on the approach to Horu Fields. We did not see Sloaters get this one, so this will be a new pickup to find. Hopefully, maybe it's something useful. This isn't logic with just this little bait of this Baneling over here.
Yeah,
And
without
this-
wall interaction too. This is totally available.
And it's a health cell. That's pretty handy since our runners do not have clean water. That will be useful for the final escape. They'll worry a little bit less about the poison water swim at the end, but not what he's looking for right now. He wants to find a skill.
Yeah, a bit of an opportunity here for OG to actually catch up, depending on how thorough he wants to be. Using Bash to go all the way up to the energy cell grenade lock pickup here is not in logic with just bash. You need something else like glide or double jump, some extra air stall in order to be able to lure that shot up above, or a way to break the wall over to the left-hand side, which he currently does not have. Does collect his extra map stone. Looks like he's going to bail on that energy cell for now, but does want to see what is here on this experience pickup. Death Gauntlet Roof for Sloaters, just some more resources, health, and energy. And as we alluded to earlier on, when Sloaters found his grenade pickup, plenty of backtracking left to do, and Sloaters does have an opportunity, if he so desires, to head to Valley with this skill set out of logic, using another Frankie lure with Bash, and has clearly opted to just try and continue to find progression, not comfortable with this as a go mode skill set, which is fair enough.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And Sloaters deciding, oh, he didn't despawn the lasers properly when he came through this area earlier. Bit unfortunate. He'll just have to be a little bit careful coming through here. There is another option for our runners to dip down into Grotto once again. There are a number of blue plants down below that they can check with this newfound grenade. But instead, Sloaters deciding to come up here. Wonder where he's gonna go. Okay, it looks like he might potentially head over towards the swamp area, which would give him one more tree. I think that would be a solid play here. He'll be able to get a useful clue finally. Oh, but the door!
Oh no. He didn't rekindle skip this cutscene where the door slammed shut, so he actually has to go all the way around now in order to be able to get to that. It will be a little bit faster if he grenade jumps his way over there, but if he's not comfortable with that, like, obviously totally understandable. But it will make it definitely a painful backtrack for him to do, an opportunity for OG to catch up as well. Interesting to see with climb, charge, jump does put the stomp tree in logic, as you were alluding to. Sloaters wanting to head to that, get his 6th tree and first clue for a quote-unquote useful dungeon key. In the meantime, it looks like OG is doing just a little bit of glades cleaning up here. That experience above charge flame tree not coming back to bite him in this particular race, and jumping up looks like he's going to Valley entry. It will be fairly interesting to see whether or not he ejects the 3 pickups that are available to him, or moves on into Valley proper as well and continues pushing trees here on the left side.
Yeah, he definitely would be able to do Valley proper with this skill set. Having bash and charge jump, definitely enough for him to get through and approach the feather quote-unquote tree. It looks like, oh, he accidentally killed that Frankie. It's not what you want to do. Nope.
It looked like he did want to do the sequence break, actually, because he was mousing his cursor over that Frankie there, indicating that he was not terribly happy about that. If he doesn't save, though, he actually placed a save at the teleporter, so he could just reload in the Frankie and be here again. So as long as he doesn't place a save, he's got very quick access to come back here.
Instead, he is choosing to open up the door to the water for Valley Long Swim, which is definitely not in logic right now without clean water. We're gonna see what he's gonna try to do here. Without this frog here, is he gonna... Okay, he's gonna try to... I don't know. I don't think that can quite reach. He does potentially have an option to do what we call a howl stomp on this floor, but the easier solution is to instead just reload, make sure that Frankie gets back, and just let him stomp the floor for you. Meanwhile, on the right, Sloaters approaching Stomp Tree. Hopefully, yeah, he is showing up on the screen, pulling up the information showing that he's about to get his next clue. So hopefully it's something nice. We don't want any more pain for our runners. This has already been a bit of a seed for them so far.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a painful start, yeah, for sure. All right, clue coming up on the right side of your screen. It's gonna be a Horu water face.
Oh my god.
This seed, dude.
What did these runners do? Oh no! Oh, there's glide. Okay, okay.
That is massive.
Oh, these poor runners. Finding glide right there, though, is extremely nice. With that glide pickup, that'll make Sorrow infinitely easier for them when they have to go through there. But yeah, going to Horu just to find the water vein, they can't even get there right now until they find their sunstone, which requires 3 more trees before we can know where it is.
Hey,
Oh.
Romulus. I got an idea for you.
Oh no, what?
Sunstone Mapstone 8.
Oh my god. This is already cursed enough. Chafe. That is 100% a possibility.
Sloaters has the Mapstones for it. I'm just pointing that out right now. He's got 6 turned in, 2 in pocket.
That is very true. Yes. Oh, I hope for their sake that is not what is going to happen.
Alright, looks like OG in the meantime. Oh no, Altar's out. I thought he was gonna use Charge Jump to get up there into Swamp proper, but go get his next tree. Does have their grenade jumps that Sloaters use to gain access to the grenade tree as well. Might just be kind of dallying around a little bit here, checking a few extra pickups to see whether or not there's anything interesting here while waiting for that Frankie to respawn at Valley Entry. In the meantime, just finding a health regen on the grenade pickup here at spawn. That grenade throw, I don't believe OG actually got that one off successfully, just a keystone there. And we'll have the Frankie alive to stomp this floor for him, and we'll see if it's anything. It is a keystone. So Glide is the skill that OG is currently missing, as well as being behind 2 of the remaining not Ginzo tree right side trees. And it looks like OG is going to rectify that right about now as he's heading back up into the swamp loop and in all likelihood swamp proper. Here's the Frankie lure on Sloater's screen on the right side. He's going to be taking this Frankie for a double bash chain up to this peg, gets it into position. Plenty of health left, just has to jump a little bit to get the aggro, to get him to stomp the peg down, and then drops down into the spikes. He's got plenty of health. He'll be okay once the iframes from this cutscene wear off. He's got a total of 9, fairly comfy in terms of the health front, actually, and is going to be making the sequence break play here into Valley. Having Glide, having access to the wind restored that is in Sorrow, not the actual wind restored that will be present throughout the rest of the map until they find that pickup anyway. But interestingly enough, Sorrow just has wind in it because the devs did not expect you to ever be able to get there without actually having wind restored. So it's going to make his traversal through Sorrow significantly easier. A couple extra checks here as well. In Valley Entry does have Bash and Climb Charge shown to be able to break the rocks above Kura's head and collect the 7th quote-unquote tree feather. OG heading to the Stomp tree now, going to find his Glide in short order.
Yeah, notable, however, OG will not know our water vein location just yet, since he is still 1 tree down, and Sloater's already with that knowledge, however cursed that knowledge might be, is still useful. OG, for all he knows, it could be anywhere. And Sloater's going to be coming up here, approaching the Kuro Rocks cutscene right here. He's going to be able to pretty comfortably break these rocks since he does have Climb and Charge Jump. Meanwhile, OG just now picking up that Glide, a nice comfy skill to help them make life a little bit easier.
Yeah, wouldn't be surprised here, given that OG was kind of making that play to Valley proper, to see him head there immediately. Again, does still have to go down to the grenade tree as well, but catching up a little bit on that tree count now with Sloaters is he is deciding to be a little bit less on the thorough side now that he's got a couple extra skills in his inventory, so to speak. As this is going to be the 7th tree for Sloaters, we'll see where OG decides he wants to go. Ooh, no, never mind. Again, making me look like a fool, going to Forlorn, wanting to clear out a few extra pickups there. Also, does have access to a clue at the end of the Forlorn escape put in there because there are a few pickups that are hard locked by Grenade and Stomp. And that is no bueno when you have to go chasing those skills. So if he completes the Forlorn escape, he will have to key dupe here. Then he will gain access to where that Stomp clue is. Of course, does not need the grenade clue. Sloater's going into Misty before Sorrow is an interesting play because, Romulus, Misty is a one-way street.
Yeah, this is quite a play from Sloaters. Like you said, normally when you're doing a seed, you almost always want to be sure that you know where all the dungeon keys are before going through Misty if you can help it. However, there's no way to quite make that happen on this kind of seed, since we know that Horu does contain our water vein, and to get to Horu we need the Sunstone, and so we cannot visit Ginzo to be our 10th tree. So or we know that we cannot get the clue for Ginzo, the 9th tree clue on Ginzo. So he's deciding to come through Misty here. He's not going to be able to check everything, since he's actually skipping a few pickups here, instead just choosing to see, maybe Misty has some sort of logical progression. Is not out of the realm of possibility, since he does have Glide as well as Bash and Grenade. However, something important is in Misty, like our Sunstone, this could come back to bite him in the butt.
Interestingly enough, here in Forlorn, one of the pickups that both the runners missed on their first pass through Forlorn is Spirit Light Efficiency, and what that does is that it doubles your XP gain from all sources. So, taking a look at OG's ability cells, of which he has plenty, 12 of them to be precise, he could go and start pushing towards SLE on the ability tree itself, which would double the doubling and gain a whole lot of XP, and also push for Sense if he wants to go and chase some skills. Sense modified from the vanilla game in the randomizer to, instead of just showing you where secret pickups are, it activates as a hot and cold system. So if you get near something that is valuable, like a skill or a dungeon key or a left side teleporter, or you will start to change color. So possibility for OG to go that route, and also a little bit easier for him to do so, knowing that he's going to have a greater net sum of experience than what we're going to see from Sloaters. OG did not like what he saw out here at Forlorn Approach. Does intentionally take the death before bashing up here. Is he going to reverse Valley Entry? I think he's going to reverse Valley Entry.
Oh, this is something we don't get to see every day. Yeah, and notable about the sense, the potential that we might complete the purple tree and get that sense find. Since we know that Watervein is in Horu, however, OG doesn't quite know that yet, but once he knows that, leveling up to sense is a very solid idea, since that will help cut down a lot of digging when they do visit Horu. Instead of having to check a bunch of slow pickups, they'll just be able to, like you said, use that hot and cold system, see if they can find out where Watervein is a little bit quicker.
This is going to be, like, incredibly hard for OG to pull off if he decides to go for this. Maybe didn't realize that it was gated behind the green door. Does have a Baneling down. Yeah, okay. I think that's just kind of a map knowledge thing for OG. He's an all-skills runner, does not come down there in that category. Basically, the only categories that come down there are, like, completionist or collection categories, so completely understandable that he doesn't remember that. Does decide to bail on it, and looks like he is going to be heading back in through Death Gauntlet. I imagine taking this over to complete a few extra bit of cleanup checks here that he couldn't do before we're charging up. Yep, there we go. Health cell and energy cell, collecting a little bit more resources. As right side, we see Sloaters executing Sorrow Bash fairly well. First tries. Still on about half of his HP total, places a save, and gets his Kuma still for his efforts. Which, by the way, as far as we know, is still out of logic, because we haven't found the Sorrow TP or Wind Restore, so... Forlorn still technically, quote, like, not available to the runners as far as the seed is concerned. Oh, man, this is a... We're coming up on an hour, and they have been finding skills at an average rate of, like, once every 12 minutes or so. Like, it's been pretty sparse.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, this seed is exquisitely mean. However, Sloater's putting in his 7th mapstone, a number that you normally don't see when it comes to mapstones. That is quite a bit. And he's going to make his way up towards the charge jump tree, where we will finally know where Sunstone is. The game will finally tell us where it is. Where do you think it could be, Shafe? What is your guess?
It's got to be the last mapstone turn-in. That's the only possible thing it could be, or Vanilla Sunstone, I'm hoping. Those are, like, one of my 2 favorite places to see Sunstones. Does have plenty of keystones, doesn't have to worry about duping on this door or anything, being kind of throw here, of obviously just kind of not happy with the current skill set. We're starting to get into the higher experience values as well. Again, this is sort of something that can be an indicator of where we are in terms of the seed's logic, as it will place higher value pickups later in logical progressions. So as OG is continuing to clean up some of the plant pickups here in the grotto area, extra double jump is on the tree for Sloaters, and the Sunstone is in Valley, and there aren't a whole lot of Valley pickups left that we haven't seen. Valley Long Swim being one of them, the Mapstone down near Forlorn Approach, which we saw OG near earlier with those green walls, and a grenade lock pickup, and I think that's most of what's left that we haven't seen, because Sloaters did regular Valley entry and checked everything there. Fax as well is one, and 3-bird ability cell, and I think that's about it.
Yeah, there's not a lot. There are a couple more pickups en route to Forlorn from this area here. There's also these lower valley pickups that I guess he did not get. Could be any of these down
He
here.
just went straight to Misty, that's right. Yeah, so a couple extra ones.
Yeah, oh,
and there it is, actually, just on the XP next to the Rhino. So a very easy find. Has his Sunstone, and
nice.
has 9 trees, by the way. And OG now lagging quite a bit behind on that, 4 behind to be precise. On Sloaters, who just needs to go and get the Bash tree and then head off to the final escape.
True. However, getting to that bash tree, gonna be a bit of a pain in the butt. He's gonna have to go put on his coat or take off his coat as he enters Horu, where it's nice and toasty, and hopefully find Water Vein without too much pain. However, Water Vein could be stomp locked in Horu. There are a few stomp locked pickups that he's not gonna be able to check right now. In that case,
go ahead.
In that case, if this pickup is stomp locked, he's gonna have to probably go back into Forlorn and then do the escape to figure out where stomp is.
Yeah, for sure. That would be probably the fastest play for him too, unless of course he just finds it in Horu on the way, which would be a big meme. Green wall here that he needs to go find a Baneling off to the right in order to lure it and bash over to break the wall. OG, it looks like he is going to be pushing some trees now, and needs to kill this front and get out of his way. Will he SA or grenade jump it? Looks like he is going to zombie Ori. Man, that is a lot of ability points he has not spent. Look how sparse that tree is. He's only used 5 ability points in total until coming down here. That's kind of bananas. Sloater, in the meantime, is opening up Mount Horu, and we'll see whether or not anything is indeed stomp locked. Not a whole lot that... I mean, I guess there's a fair amount that you can check in Horu without stomp, including 3 pickups right here next to the entrance, and the quote-unquote validation XP, which is not required to validate your seed. That is past the mini-boss down here that is currently directly below Sloaters. So, OG, in a bit of a pickle here in terms of the progression of the seed. Is going to still be 3 trees behind Sloaters after he gets Grenade, and then needs to go and find the Sunstone as well as the Water Vein. Sloaters is just looking for the Water Vein here, and then you can go to Ginza.
Yeah, and these 3 easy pickups were not friendly for him. The Water Vein still nowhere to be found. There is one more relatively easy pickup that he can check, that Validation XP. But he's instead deciding to start clearing out these rooms in the hopes that he can find it. And these rooms can be a bit treacherous, especially since as runners of the randomizer, we usually don't come down here all that often to these rooms unless we absolutely need to. So hopefully he's able to get through these without too much of a hassle.
Yeah, unfortunately not having dash to be able to bypass these lasers does slow things down a little bit. Actually doing this a little full unintended way, kind of amusing. And yeah, OG now getting his 6th tree does see that the Water Vein is in Horu and is not terribly pleased about that. Sloaters in the meantime gets the bash on the Tumbleweed here, and turns out you can just walk through it. Just 8 XP. And then the 1 cutscene left here for him to watch, and another XP value down below, and then he'll have this room clear, and we'll be able to know whether or not the Water Vein is here. OG is doubling back out of the grenade tree and is going to check a couple pickups that are around here and available to him, including, if he so desires, Lost Grove does have a few pickups that he can go and check that may have further progression as well. But for OG's sake, there's the Sorrow TP. Okay, yeah,
Ooh.
so Forlorn is in logic with Climb Charge Jump. That's actually going to be a pretty big time save for OG in terms of getting to Charge Jump, because all he's got to do is just jump in there and Climb Charge Jump the walls down, and boom, he's got to the Charge Jump tree. Doesn't even have to worry about his keystone count.
Yeah, that's a very nice find for him. Just a nice little convenience teleporter for him to make heading over towards his next tree a little bit easier. And we see Sloaters making his way through Horu. He's going to go check this other room here on the right. Just a lot of rooms here. The water vein could be anywhere. We did see him open up his ability menu earlier, and it looked like he was trying to count up how many ability points he had. I think he's still a little short on the total number needed, 4 cents, which is a bit unfortunate for him.
Worth noting, Sloaters did miss lower R4 and skipped L4, so 2 pickups that he had access to without stop. So if the water vein is in one of those locations, he's going to have to double back, and it's going to be a little bit of a time loss for him. OG just absolutely face tanking these spikes, because why not? When you have this much health, and breaks that wall. Looks like he wants to jump back up here and place a save. Yeah, that's fair enough. Just because this little climb down here, very easy to go down too far and go down into the spikes on the left side, or as just happened there, you charge jump into the spikes on the right side. So nice little play there from OG to make sure he plays it nice and safe. Catching up a little bit on trees too. Sloaters with 9, OG with 7. Keeping you up to date on the state of the race. Looks like OG is going to take the intended path here out of Sorrow and head back into the Dorito Caves, and then drop down into Valley that way and go to Misty in all likelihood.
Yes, and that will be a nice path for him to take instead of having to go through Valley entrance. However, once he does find where Sunstone is, once he grabs his 9th tree, he will have checked fewer pickups in Valley, and that will leave a lot more that he'll have to go through while he's doing his Sunstone digging, which he will have to do before he goes into Horu to get his water vein.
It could be a bit of a time save for him compared to the way that Sloaters pathed it, because if he just drops down straight into the main Valley area, he'll have the Sunstone right there. If he does decide to head up through Valley entry instead, then things will about even out. Does want to check a few extra pickups here in Sorrow before dipping down that way. However, taking a look at his ability tree, he's actually going to terror break this roof. So what he's doing with the save anywhere here is that he's placing a save right up next to this ceiling, and then he's going to take an intentional death while charge jumping. And when he respawns, the charge jump aura is going to be present for the first frame, and as he holds glide, that's going to allow him to break this ceiling and go up sort of the inverted path up to the Sunstone here. We don't know if anything is here. It's entirely possible the skill could be here for him. So it'll be interesting to see whether or not there in fact is. Sloaters is now into, I believe this is L3. I am so good at knowing the numbers for horror. Like, just ask me any question and I'll answer it for you 100% by passing it off to Romulus so he can bail me out.
Because of course I obviously know all of them.
Yeah, clearly.
Yeah. Anyway, Sloaters making his way through L whatever number this is.
It is L3. My brain did actually work.
This room is a little bit tricky without double jump. It's doable, but it's
kind of awful.
Yeah, really hope that he's able to get through without too much of a struggle. We did see him pull off numerous double bash chains earlier to great success. So hopefully, if needed, he'll be able to do that again here. Looks like he's
nearly dipping. Oh, brutal. Platform got shot out from underneath him, taking a death and sending him back to the start of the room. OG is going to be turning in his 7th mapstone, coming up on parity on that front with Sloaters as well, trying to bait this frog shot out to check this mapstone pickup. There's a bird there that you can use as well. OG, nice job with the double bashing, however. As Sloaters is once again halfway up through this L3 main shaft, now needs to head around the hairpin over to the left. And hopefully this elemental does not misbehave again. There's the laser, does break the platform, but this time Sloaters has charged him up, waiting for this mortar shot. It's not coming!
That mortar was so rude. Looked like he was gonna come shoot the shot, and then he decided, no thanks. That's poor Sloaters. But he's carrying on like the true champ he is. He's not letting that slow him down.
OG being very thorough here in Sorrow. Is he going to drop down and go to the left side? No, looks like he's going to exit Sorrow now and get his feather. He has the opportunity to break Curl's rocks dropping down from the top here. Another death from Sloaters, bleeding a lot of time to this room, which is working in OG's favor as far as the thoroughness goes, but still, again, needs to catch up on that tree count, needs to break these rocks, needs to go into Misty and grab his Sunstone down in Lower Valley so that he can come into Mount Horu and begin his search for the water vein, which is increasingly looking stomp blocked. And the positioning for this Mortar Shark in order to actually bait a shot out at you is highly obnoxious. And that's why Sloaters is losing a lot of time here. You have to be in like just some magical pixel region in order for that Mortar Shark to cooperate, and Sloaters just having a bit of trouble finding. It's not actually that accurate. It's not pixel perfect or anything. And just I'm being hyperbolic. Okay, come on.
We're just trying to help bail our friend out here.
He actually was taking a projectile and double bashing it. Second guessed it. He had the elemental shot coming across, and then the Mortar Shark fired. And he didn't grab either shot.
You gotta feel bad for Sloaters here. He's trying his heart out and putting on a show, and the game is just absolutely trolling him right here. Meanwhile, on the left, OG finding his Sunstone with not very much digging. That's gotta feel really nice for him. He's one step closer to finishing off this seed.
Oh, is he going? Yeah, I don't think he's going to Misty here first. I think he's going to take that straight into Horror, which is fine because we know, at least in the first half of Misty, there wasn't anything there for him.
Yeah. And also, notable, OG found that without even a clue. He had no idea where Sunstone was.
Yeah.
He just happened to find that. That's got to be very nice as well.
Yeah, he still needed to go into Misty in order to get his 9th tree and therefore clue, but does have the Sunstone sort of free of charge in that sense. And if he does find a skill here, either in Horu or if he gets access to the Ginzo tree earlier than Sloaters does, he's going to have a much easier time of it. And a little bit faster time, knowing that he's not going to have to check anything else in Misty the way that Sloaters did. You know, if OG finds dash or double jump, he's definitely going to have a bit of an execution advantage on that front, heading into Misty and more time catching up. This is actually going to just straight up bleed time for Sloaters right now. He does not have Stomp. He still has not checked the pickups that he missed in the lower rooms here in Horu, and this room, after you complete the sequence of bashes killing these elementals, it's a Stomp block pickup behind a cutscene that he's not going to have access to, so he's just going to straight up lose time here. And we'll have to see if OG finds the water vein in one of those lower room pickups. It's going to turn into a pretty big advantage here for OG minus the Misty visit that he has to do.
Yep. That broom definitely trolling Sloaters there, but he's going to make his way back up through this elemental cavern. I wonder if he's going to plug in his 8th mapstone. He will, and it's 217 experience, but double jump. Oh my gosh, that's a big find.
Yeah, Sloaters just completely missed double jump here in Horu Fields. This is going to make navigating Horu much easier for OG, as well as Misty proper. So that's pretty big. Just an update for you on the pickups that Sloaters has missed so far. Again, this is another Stomp block pickup for him. 3 in R1, the validation pickup, L4 and L4 door warp, door pickup not being in logic, and L3 as well have remained unchecked. So OG, if it is on validation and he checks that immediately, is going to have some pretty happy days here, as Sloaters is going to be heading into R1 and a number of pickups here, 4 for him to check where the water vein could be.
Yes, and like we've been alluding to here or there, we still don't have Stomp. And if it is Stomp locked, they're going to have to go down into Forlorn and do that final escape. And that could waste some more time. However, OG deciding instead to just come into Horu first, doing a lot of the checks we've already seen. He's not going to do a validation check just yet. So, for all we know, water vein could just be right there at the bottom of Forlorn, or bottom of Horu.
Yep, the lower pickup past this, if OG places a save and drops back down before doing the rest of this batch puzzle here, There's another pickup right down below there. That's the one that Sloaters missed. Eyes on R1, however, right now. Just experience so far for Sloaters, as we know that OG's not going to find anything in this room that he's in right now. Again, Sloaters does not have double jump, so he came dangerously close to taking another death there in the fire and sending him back to the start of this room. He's going to check the cutscene first. Will he remember that there is an energy cell behind this? It could be big if the water vein is there. OG is, in the meantime, playing around with this rock again, vanilla strats. And just a keystone for Sloaters on the cutscene, has the energy cell above him. OG having trouble with the rock.
No.
Sloaters Altar's out! He does not check the energy cell.
Oh, that's huge. Oh, that could be the entire race right there. Oh no, Sloaters. That feels really bad to see. That pickup isn't too clear when you're coming through horror. That is a pickup that you very, very rarely check, and we just really gotta hope for both runners' sake that's not where the water vein is.
I believe OG just picked up Sense, which means he's going to be changing colors as he gets close to various different pickups. Like this right here would be close enough for him to be able to tell. Oh, sorry, it was Sloaters that got Sense. I got my left and my right confused. Don't mind me. Sloaters with Sense, OG without it. And OG does check that pickup, which Sloaters did not the water vein. So Sloaters safe for now as far as the pickups that he did not check in horror, but there's quite a few that he missed. And that could be very dangerous for him. He is going to be heading to Forlorn, aforementioned at least 3 times, I think, right now. That there is a clue here at the end of Forlorn that is going to give him the location of Stomp. So if it is Stomp blocked, advantage Sloaters. If it's not Stomp blocked and it's one of the pickups that Sloaters missed here in Horu, advantage OG. And that's basically what the state of the race is at the moment. Again, of course, accepting the fact that OG has not yet been to Misty.
Yes, and for all we know, Stomp could be in an equally garbage location. Could be in horror.
Behind clean water. For I don't know. Lost for a long swim. Mapstone A.
Yeah, Stomp could just be. This seed is far from over, despite how full our trackers look on your screen. This seed is. We're still working.
There are definitely things that are occurring in this seed. That is 100% sure. All right, I don't believe anything was on Restore Itself for Sloaters. Is going to be navigating this escape. We have seen these checks that you're seeing on an OG side on Sloaters, so we'll just pay attention to the Sloaters screen for the time being. Right side is going to be with this mega health and all the ability points that he's been, like, he's totally fine. For the time being. There are a few instant death points, though, that could definitely reset him back to the start. So definitely not out of danger, but is going to have a fairly safe go as this is OG collects 90-something experience. Sloaters will have to stop for this chilling ice blast here. Does damage tank the last one and floats his way on up. Just a couple more icicles to dodge. Head left into this little nook. Boop, he's fine. And Stomp is in Blackroot.
Oh my gosh, Shape, you called it. No.
Lost groves, long swim. Dun, 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 dun.
Oh my gosh. This is horrible.
Horrible? Hey.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
Alright,
this is.
There are definitely some pickups that Sloaters can check before going to Lost Grove. So it could be nasty, but it could also be just not too bad. There is the 2 frog ability cell. I think they have both checked Dash Plant at this point there. And a couple lasers that you can duck behind. And then we're looking into Lost Grove. Looks like he's actually changing color here.
Oh,
he's dipping down here into Blackroot, Maine. What pickup did he miss? He's going to be heading over towards... Ooh, he doesn't have ability points for the zombie. So he's going to have to grenade jump this or double the back. He has no option at this point.
I believe we already saw that grenade blocked pickup over to the right. I believe OG had that one earlier, and I don't think it was... Well, it can't be
just experience, yeah.
Oh, taking a death there on the right. These lasers are a giant pain in the butt when you don't have dash. Of course, the game expects you to have dash when you're coming through
Oh
this area.
yeah, that's right. It was the Star TP. My bad. Yeah, so that's where Sloaters. That's what Sloaters is sense checking there. Is the Star TP.
A recent change to the Ori Randomizer where Sense now locates left side teleporters.
Yeah, right prior to the tournament, it did not sense on Forlorn Valley or Sara TPs, but for the purposes of this tournament, we changed it just to kind of mix things up a little bit and give Sense a little bit of that extra chutzpah, if you will. So, all right, OG is going to be heading into R1. He has not headed to the left side yet, which has more stomp lock locations than does the right side. I like this play from OG. And it is going to head up to the energy cell, hopefully, and we'll see whether or not that has burned Sloaters. It'll give us more information as to an idea of whether or not the water vein is indeed stomp locked. I don't think we have seen validation yet from either runner either.
Yes, correct.
That was a sentence I just said. And yeah, so that could be a possible location for it as well. But after that, it's very quickly coming down to stomp. I think there's only this energy cell validation, and Sloaters was not able to finish up our L3, I believe. So that'll be it, pretty much.
Yeah, we are approaching the end of this seed. Believe it or not, we somehow got here.
We're inching our way closer. We have gotten up off of our hands and knees and have acquired Arcane and are limping in the general direction of the end of this seed. But for the time being, eyes on the left side of your screen as OG is watching this cutscene, and Sloaters did not check this energy cell. Will he remember it's here? He is not an all cells runner. We do come here.
Remember.
Yes, he does. Is it the water bait? No, it's an energy cell.
No. Okay.
All right, so Sloaters is bailed out on that front.
Yes. However, for all he knows, well, he didn't even remember that was there. So that pickup probably not even in the back of his mind.
Looks like the sense check here is indicating either the AC up above or the experience, and that is likely to be where Stomp is. It also could be on the Grandpa's house cutscene if this is just something benign. We will have to wait and see. OG's heading to the left. He's also going to be mortified to find out that this is a stomp locked pickup. Does not have sense to be able to detect whether or not it is anything. There's a hidden XP there, Sloaters. There you go. And
There,
okay.
he's got it. He's got his stomp.
So, unless L3 is, or validation is the water main, this is definitively at this point a Sloaters advantage.
Sloaters 100% in the lead, having done the Forlorn Escape and knowing where Stomp is. Having that sense advantage definitely coming into play. He was able to skip a number of pickups. And now as he's coming back through, he's going to be able to skip some more, since now he has that sense.
Yeah, by the way, we are up to 8 out of 9 mapstone turn-ins for both runners, and despite the early accrual of said mapstones, nothing was on them. So just a big old debate by the seed, as it is wont to do.
Yes. However, mapstone 9 could still have something for all we know.
Mm-hmm.
I really hope it
validation
doesn't.
check from Sloaters here, so keep an eye on the right side.
Yes. Sloaters choosing violence to come down here to approach validation XP.
Oh, and bails on it.
Or
so.
maybe not. Okay, never mind.
Okay, but we do have L3 from OG, who's looking to place a save, I would imagine, here in the corner. What?
Oh, okay, yeah.
Oh,
so
yeah,
he's doing the
okay.
charge jump. Yeah,
Yeah, all right. I got it.
He's got it.
I got you. No. And there is the stomp in L4 for Sloaters. Collects the XP there. It was Donata, and is now running away from the avalanche of fire. And then we'll have to watch a little bit of a miniature cutscene. Head off to the left, stomp the peg, get another cutscene, and then also has one more experience that he will be able to collect down below, right underneath him, as you can see there. As OG is coming up on the L3 cutscene.
And sense not changing colors there for Sloaters. So that pickup down there not going to be our water vein. Sloaters choosing to bail on that, taking note of the lack of color change.
All right, so OG 161 experience in L3. So Sloater is so far bailed out of the stomp lock checks, and I believe we've seen it all now as far as the non-stomp lock pickups are. So OG is definitively 100% behind here now because he's going to have to go down to Black Root and get stomped as well.
Although, wait, did OG check validation XP?
Correct. Yeah, I forgot. Sorry, my brain decided to become a fried egg there for a moment, and
Relatable.
yeah, no, he did bail on validation. I don't think. Oh well, he didn't dip back down to the right, and I think if you're attentive enough, you would change color right at the start of Mount Horu. But yeah, he may or may not have been close enough for the sense check as he was fighting the mini boss there. I'm not too sure, honestly. I did not see him changing color at that juncture, so I am inclined to believe that's what he was thinking, is that nothing is there on validation. We are going to see it for sure, definitively, from OG, who is enjoying the murder here on the left side of your screen, and we'll find out indeed momentarily whether or not it is anything.
Both runners choosing violence. And the moment of truth. No, it is stomp locked.
All right, well, there you have it. OG has to altar out, and he knows now that it is indeed stomp locked. So this is a tree behind for OG plus the stomp lock water vein, and has full cleared a lot of horror, everything that he can actually, and is actually, interestingly enough, going straight to Blackroot. Is he just gonna decide to dig down here anyway?
That would be interesting. Of course, we know he's probably not going to find it unless he decides to go all the way down to Lost Grove,
Yeah.
which it's usually not my first choice for areas to dig for pickups.
You know what? This might be just OG thinking to himself, you know what? This seed is absolutely just putrefaction incarnate. And I'm going to go to the most disgusting places I can think of to try and find progression. And as it turns out, he'll find it if he continues all the way down. So
Yes. Which is sometimes a valid line of thinking. Meanwhile, Sloaters changing colors. Is this going to be our blue orb once and for all?
Yeah,
Hey! It's the water vein. Oh, that's a big sigh of relief for Sloaters. He can finally head over to Ginzo Tree.
He's going to altar and head on out. Does not need to check anything at all. As OG is going to be doing this two frog door puzzle. Needs to kill the frog in front and then grenade over the top to kill the second one. Then the door that you see in front of him shall open. After shining a brief shade of purple, there it is. A slash of purple, and now he'll be in, and we'll see whether or not he decides to just go make the big brain play of heading down to the Lost Grove. It is kind of his last, like, dense quote-unquote area that he hasn't been aside from Misty, so
He is going there.
yeah, honestly, not a bad play from OG. I would probably hesitate to do this without clean water, but it is in logic for him to do this, so big brain plays to be sure from him, and he is going to find Stomp, and he's going to be rewarded for it, as well as Sloaters is in the Ginzo tree now. All he needs to do is go up to the Bash tree. That will give him 10 out of 10 trees, and 3 out of 3 dungeon keys, 8 out of 9 mapstone turn-ins. We're still missing clean water and wind restored. He's missing double jump. We know that OG found that in Horror Fields. Never mind, there's clean water. It is in Ginzo.
French vanilla clean water.
Yeah, kind of, yeah. And Charge Flame and Dash nowhere to be found just yet. Looks like OG is going to be going for the swim here. Does not have Ultra Defense, but does have plenty of health, just squeezing through the Crushers. Is going to be bashing off of 1 fish, 2 fish, 3 fish, blue fish, and with health regen, he is through for the 246 experience and a level up. I don't know why he's not quitting to menu. Maybe he wants to keep that extra ability point. Fair enough.
Oh,
He's just gonna
there
take
he
the death
goes.
in the crushers. All right, that's one way to do it for sure. So he's just gotta open up this grenade puzzle here, and then head on up after pulling the lever over to the right, and he will have his stomp as well off of the hidden XP right there, and then he'll be able to go back into Horu and chase after the water vein.
Yeah, I'm sure he's going to be very thrilled right there to find Stomp, and he immediately alt-arts out. And is he gonna go to Misty first, or is he gonna go to Horu? Who knows?
I am baffled and impressed by the seeds simultaneously, both clean water and wind restored in Ginzo. Hidden by Stomp, found in Lost Grove, in order to get the water vein in Mount Horror.
Very rude. This whole seed has just been one giant rude experience.
Yep. That's for sure. All right, OG does have Stomp. Looks like he's going to be working his way up the left side from bottom to top, so he is a while away from his water vein as of yet. And Sloaters, who most assuredly did get the Mount Horror teleporter, is going to be heading there directly right now. 10 out of 10 trees. And just has the final escape left to do in what is sure to go down in the Ori Rando history books as one of the rudest tournament seeds that has ever been played. And Sloaters got the advantage that he needed by just like a rude, unconventional seed with things in rude, unconventional places, and OG not able to get full advantage of his execution capabilities. Still missing dash, which would definitely make things more comfortable for him. And yeah, and ultimately that ended up being it, and that OG just kind of checked things in an unfortunate order compared to Sloaters, and that's how this map played out.
Yeah. In all fairness, this seed is extraordinarily hard no matter what skill level you're at. Just the way that you have to go about thinking how you progress and everything. So, cannot blame either of our runners. They both tried their hardest and put on a great show. And on the right, Floaters making his way through this lava pillar cavern, bashing over. And he's going to charge jump up. Okay, he's going to take it one more time. This is a little tricky when... Oh, he accidentally got Kuro there. Real close to making that bash. He's going to have to do one more time. And this is, in fact, his race to lose. He would have to take a number of deaths for OG to have a chance of making this comeback, unfortunately for him.
He would have to go make dinner at this point. Like a nice little stir fry, cup of coffee, come back, sit down, and then, all right, yeah, sure, now I'll play. and then OG would have an opportunity to come back into this. But
Yes.
unfortunately, just not the case. Not gonna happen. Sloaters, talented runner himself, to be able to close this one out most assuredly.
Yep, he's going to be bashing off of these fish, and he's going to make his way through this last little room here, gliding his way up to victory. A very well-deserved win on a brutal seed. Looks like he is going to go for this final grenade jump. Doesn't quite get it on the first try. He's going to set up again.
Yeah, keep in mind here, like,
There he goes.
OG hasn't done Misty yet, so he's gonna finish up all the left side rooms, and then still have to do Misty and Ginzo. Like he's pretty far behind here, and a lot of that just came down to like the first two pickups in which he was trying to skip things in the early game because he missed out on just some execution errors with not being able to do the damage boost, the wall jump loop, and going back for fake flippers instead of continuing on in Blackroot. So he kind of felt behind and was starting to skip some pickups in Blackroot. And so he missed Bash for like a solid 5 minutes before, after Sloaters got it, rather. And then Sloaters was the first to make the read for Outer Swamp, in which he got Grenade, and as such was able to do a lot more sort of efficient pickups per minute in the backtracking segment of this seed. So GG to Sloaters, who finishes with a time of 128.15.
Yeah, GG's.
And holy crap, this seed, dude.
This seed, you know, oh man. Definitely not a seed that you want to be playing yourself, but a very entertaining one to watch, I will say. we're gonna see if our runners want to come in for a quick interview after their race. I 100% understand if they do not want to be interviewed. This was an absolutely mind-bending, brutal experience. But
Yeah,
we'll see.
I talked to OG prior to this race, and he said like if he was a half hour behind Sloaters, and he's probably a solid 10 minutes at this point. He probably wouldn't want to pop in for a chat. So, just giving Sloaters a quick DM here and see if he wants to drop in. Yep, okay, he's gonna come in. We just gotta navigate his way over here, and then we'll drag him in for a quick chat as OG has now found his water vein up top in L1 and is going to be making his way over towards the Ginzo tree.
Yeah, and OG leveling all the way up to Ultra Defense. He's gonna go finish off this seed. That is a lot of ability points that he had.
So, do you want to know where Seaflame and Bath were?
Ooh, I really. Ooh.
Seaflame was at Grenadeser.
Grenadeser. Okay.
Yep. And Dash was the 4th keystone in Misty, so past the climb tree.
Oh my god.
Nobody was getting that. Nobody.
Oh.
Great seed. 10-10. All right, we're going to pull Sloaters in for a chat now. Floaters, that I'm sure that can't have been like 100% fun to play, but based on our quick chat before the race, you kind of got what you wanted. It was a rude seed, not a whole lot of opportunity for OG to take advantage of his execution, and he is just heading into the Ginzo tree now. Your thoughts on like this bash opener into this grenade right side, charge jump left side shenanigans that this thing was?
Oh my god. I mean, I've never really played one like this, to be honest. But like you said, it was kind of the seed I was hoping for, but it still felt very bad, especially, with some of the way I did things. There's some bad routing mistakes and just like silly little execution mistakes, but I was feeling I wasn't even really thinking about Stomp until I saw where Water Vein was. So at that point, I was like, oh, this is like go mode pretty much, right? And I was like, well, maybe it's not, because I don't really play in Horu very often. I only run all skills, and I've not done like a ton of randomizer, so I don't know like off the top of my head how many of those rooms need Stomp for pickups. So I was kind of like gambling. It wasn't a lot, but unfortunately, it didn't turn out to work out for me. But yeah, that was crazy.
Indeed it was. In a well-earned GG's to you, Sloaters. I have to ask you about that L3 battle with that mortar that was refusing to give you a shot to bash off of.
That is the
How are you
worst. That is the least efficient employee of the Blind Forest I've ever seen. Like, throw me a bone, man. Like,
Someone
he's not even
fire him.
trying. Yes, please. He must be. That was ridiculous. I was flabbergasted. I couldn't believe what was happening.
Well, and that elemental, like, you were like, okay, screw this, and so you decided to take one of the elemental shots and start double bashing it over, and then the projectile just despawned on you. Like, that entire room is full of Walmart slackers, I tell you.
See, I mean, one of the other elementals, like, helped me more than the mortar. It was insane.
Yeah, right?
It just, like, a shot somehow made it up there. I didn't see it in time, unfortunately, but yeah, I was like, I can't, like, if it's here, I'm not going to get it. I'm just going to find a way to beat the game without it.
Oh, man. All right. So, that sure was an experience. You were advancing on to the next round. Interestingly enough, we didn't really know this before signing up to commentate it, but you're going to be facing me, and OG's going to be facing Romulus, my co-commentator here. So,
scouting out the competition a little bit. Then.
Yeah, kind of. I guess the accidental stealing of the knowledge. So I guess just your thoughts on your win here and advancing on to the next round. What's your confidence level feeling like at the moment?
Well, it feels good to get one off the bat. I know I'm gonna get owned in the next round, but
come on.
hopefully I can scoop up at least one more in the lower bracket and at least leave 50%. I'd be proud of myself for that.
My execution has been terrible the past few days. I think you actually got a shot right now the way I've been playing, dude.
And it is rando. Anything can happen. in
Yeah,
rando.
and it's rando. Exactly.
That is true. It is rando.
And yes, Sloaters, I wanted to ask you real quick about when you were dipping into Misty. You didn't know where Sunstone was, and you decided to go ahead and head over to Climb Tree a little bit before you knew where all the dungeon keys were. You want to tell us about what you were thinking at that time?
I don't know. I didn't have like a particular order I wanted to go through them with. I guess I don't know. I was kind of just like banking on Misty not having anything that important, or at least not the dungeon key. So I would just sort of banking on that.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't know. It's tough for me to decide sometimes which when you get to the left side, like which order to do things in.
Yeah, it definitely can be a bit of a time figuring out where to go first. Also, what about those map stones? You were collecting a lot of them, huh? How'd you feel about that?
I was really hoping something good was going to be on them. Like when you're getting that many and you're getting map stones from turning in map stones, I'd like to think it's like the seed sending a message, but there was like just EXP and like nothing else. It was a little disappointing.
Yep. You want to know what was on Mapstone 9?
Please tell me it was like Dash or something.
It
I
was
guess it couldn't have been Dash, but
it was 90 XP.
wow.
So nothing. They were all a giant bait.
Yeah.
Absolutely rude.
Yeah. You were only missing double jump, which was in Horu Fields. I believe it was the energy cell or plant, energy cell, I think. Sea Flame was at Grenadeser, so above Blazer, and Dash was behind the Climb Tree. It was Misty Fourth and Stone.
Absolutely brutal locations.
Yeah, that could have been nice to get Charge Flame. I think I might have had 3 energy cells when I went through the first time. I don't remember. I know I could have had 4 because there was one in the dirty water too, but that would have been real nice to get that blue breakage the first time through there.
Oh yeah, blue breakage unfortunately was a little bit later in the seed than normal.
Yeah.
And with that, OG will also finish up as he finally finishes off his final escape. GG, well played to him as well.
GG. Yeah, I feel terrible. We got a seed like this.
It was one of the most entertaining seeds I think we've had in a long time, but I'm sure it was not as entertaining to play.
Yeah, between this one and that qualifier one that had like the charge jump at Wilhelm Frog.
Wilhelm? Yeah,
Yeah.
God.
I don't know which one. I don't know which one I hated more, but
I still
they're
have
definitely
nightmares of
top
that
2.
seed.
I think this one's a little bit better because at least you had charge jump and glide in like relatively nice locations. That seed was just like wall jump and bash.
Yeah, that was it.
For like 50 minutes. It was awful. Oh
and we are going to be joined by OG here in the booth in just a moment.
There we go.
There we go. OG, GG's, my friend. How are you feeling about that one?
Oh god, what a classic.
What a classic.
Yeah, what a brutal seed, huh?
Yeah. It was pretty brutal. There was like no help as to like where to go. Everywhere where I thought it was, like I really thought it was map zones at the start because I got like 15 before going to Blackroot. So I probably threw a bit of time down the drain there, and then it was just a lot of digging.
Oh yeah. And speaking of digging, I would love to hear your thoughts on why you decided to just book it straight to Lost Grove before you found your stop. What made you decide to go there?
So I was thinking about going down to Lost Grove before I went to the grenade tree, and then when I got the Sorry TP in the grenade tree area, I figured, oh, okay, it wants me to have dash. It expects me to get down there anyway. I've got no idea where else to go. It's like the one place that I sort of hadn't been. So as soon as I full cleared Horror, except for the stomp locked pickups, I went, okay, let's get back onto the logic train. Where did we get off? And Lost Grove was where I thought was next.
Very, very well done to, make that connection right there, and you were definitely rewarded for that. On the other side, Sloaters actually went to Forlorn and did the wind escape, and he got the clue for it. And when we saw it wasn't Blackroot, oh man, we were thinking it could have been that dirty
Another half
long
hour.
swim. Yeah. But yes, GG's. I wanted to ask you as well about those map stones. You were getting a ton of map stones. Did you think anything was going to be relevant on those?
Yeah, so I remember, what was it, like an hour and 20 minutes ago now, I made the pretty bad play of just like spamming map stones because I really thought that that was going to be progression. Like I went back to the wall jump keystone, popped that in, teleported to Blackroot TP, put that one in. It's just like nothing ever came from them, which was annoying because I must have put like 8 out of 9 in or something.
Yeah, it was 8 out of 9, and the 9th one only had 90 experience, so there was
Nice.
absolutely nothing on
Yep.
Mapstone at all.
Fantastic.
It was
Yep,
just
love
a
that.
big waste of time.
A giant bait.
So, OG, as my fellow 31.9 runner, I gotta ask you if you have any words of trash talk for Romulus for the next round.
I don't know. I don't think I've really performed well enough in this tournament to talk any trash, other than like enjoy your free win, I guess.
Oh,
Um,
oh man, we're gonna have a fun race, OG. I'm sure we're gonna have a great time.
look, it can't be more fun than this race, right?
That's
it can't
true.
be more
Well-
fun than this seed.
Well, it actually could be a Mapstone 9 progression seed, except instead of getting all the Mapstones early, you have to collect them all from Misty. And that would be super entertaining.
Yeah, or at the
Yeah.
top of like Ginzo Escape or something.
Oh, God. All right, well, it's been a long haul for everybody here involved, and so we'll go ahead and we'll send you guys off, and GG, and good luck on your next rounds, guys.
Yeah, GG
Thank you.
Sloaters.
Yeah, GG OG.
Alrighty, so that is going to close off the opening round of the upper bracket here in the Warrior 1 Randomizer 21-21 tournament. We are going to be heading now into Losers Bracket Round 1 and Upper Bracket Round 2 action. And a whole lot of it is coming your way tomorrow. We've got Zemzis and Terra kicking things off at 2 o'clock Eastern, Aussie versus Dedu at 4, Cleanfell versus Gecko at 5, Evo versus Baron at 9. And Jay Hal and Rufus will be closing things out at 11 o'clock Eastern. I want to thank my co-commentator Romulus for helping me out here on the mic today, as well as Oshi and Turtle on truck and J-Mal on the restream. And we'll see you tomorrow for a massive day, elephantine, you might say, of Ori Randomizer action. Take care, guys.
GG's. We'll see you later, everyone.